Arab Spring 2010-2011, or also known as the demonstrations in the Middle East and North Africa, is the revolutionary wave of demonstrations and protests that took place in the Middle East and North Africa.
It was frustration at Tunisia's youth unemployment that started it all. When 23-year-old fruit vendor Mohamed Bouazizi set fire to himself last year and died days later, it sparked an unprecedented wave of protests that would transform the region.
During the Arab Spring uprisings occurred in Tunisia and Egypt, a civil war began in Libya, while uprisings were observed in Bahrain, Syria, and Yemen. The common feature of all demonstrations was resistance through campaigns, strikes, and marches, and struggle via the usage of social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, aimed towards the organization, communication, and information of global masses in respect the above countries' efforts to stop oppression and censorship. The ultimate purpose of all demonstrators in the Arab world has been the people's desire for the regime's fall.
President Zain al-Abidine bin Ali had been overthrown and fled to Saudi Arabia.
The former president of Yemen has been killed.
President Hosni Mubarak is stepping down. He is stepping down and leaving the presidency. This is the culmination now.
Media is a powerful tool of war and is used in institutions that seek to adopt democracy selectively depending on personal benefit and interests. The media, more than ever, exercise homogenic control over the public's mind, opinions, and life. The universal ethos of their journalism became non-existent.
Claims of discrimination and warnings of a growing sectarian rift. Is the Sunni-Shia divide about to explode wide open? Sunnis hold the majority in the region, but many fear a Shia awakening that could strip them of power.
The idea of a sectarian Middle East causes far more confusion than illustration. Sectarianism is often characterized as the violent and illiberal manifestation of competing.
Well, this week, 2 Shiite activists in the Gulf states have been stripped of their citizenships, sparking claims of discrimination and pointing to growing tensions between Sunni and Shia.
2 countries that compete for the leadership of Islam, Sunni Saudi Arabia and Shia Iran, have used the sectarian divide to further their ambitions. How the rivalry is settled will likely shape the political balance between Sunnis and Shias and the future of the region.
The biggest change was that we went from roughly professional, roughly objective, to very partisan and very propagandistic coverage. This contributed to galvanizing certain groups, radicalizing certain groups, pushing people to the brink of civil war in many countries, racial slurs, racial hatred, and specifically sectarian and religious hatred became a norm in the media, both in the mainstream and on social media, especially playing on the Sunni-Shia divide that also served political groups. This also coincided with the rise of certain terrorist extremist groups like Daesh. It's not a coincidence that also happened, and they were able to rise to a certain level of prominence, partly because of this kind of coverage that also helped them.